Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of Between the Sheets with Pamela. Today, we're going to be chatting about the book launches I've attended this week, the Jersey Book Fair, Andy Martin, my own book, Things Unseen, and I'm going to be answering questions I should have blogged about but haven't got round to. So, first up, I went to Erna van Sail's launch of Dead in the Water at Love Books Josie last week. She was in conversation with Ruda Landman. Ruda does not age. It is not right, people. It really isn't right. Anyway, an absolutely lovely launch. Erna mentioned my writing several times while she was speaking, which I thought was incredibly generous of her. Thank you very much. I was slightly gobsmacked, to be honest. The cover of her book is totally divine. It has a shout by Jennifer Chris Williams. A toxic mix of violent crime signals the arrival of a new writer. A truly deadly read. Sounds fabulous. I am really looking forward to reading that. Now, it was the Jersey Book Fair this past weekend. I was up to my eyeballs in work, so I only paid a flying visit there on Sunday. And I bumped into the divine Rami Chwene, aka Humocho on Mubango. Rami wrote this book, We Kissed the Sun and Embraced the Moon. It is self-published and she has sold over 2,000 copies of it, which may not sound like a lot, but in our industry it's a huge amount. Most of us struggle to sell 1,000 copies of our books, so that's pretty amazing. I'll just read the blurb about it. It is a collection of essays where Rami tells of her own personal journey. These stories will make you laugh, they'll make you cry, and most of all, they will speak to your heart and remind you how beautiful and simple life truly is. So yeah, buy this book, peeps. Now, talking of our own books, the hard copy of my book, Things Unseen, went to beta readers this week. Now, I loathe asking people to beta read. It feels like such an imposition. And can I just say how grateful I am to all of you, to my darling Mrs. Brink, my lovely work husband, my medical expert, Dr. Jess, and Kitty, you don't know it yet, but you are going to be my legal expert. Oh, and plus, of course, the real husband. Thanks, babe. Mwah. Now, coming up this weekend, I will be heading with both my husbands to the Open Book Fair in Cape Town. It's the first time I'm going and I am very excited. I'm only doing one charity dinner, so I'm planning on doing a lot of hanging out at coffee shops. So please come and say hi if you're there. Don't be shy. Love to meet you. I am looking forward to meeting the writer of this book, Andy Martin. I am not a huge fan of the Jack Reacher books. I've only read one of them, but I am a huge fan of this book. I'm going to read the blurb on the back to give you some idea of what it's about. Reacher Said Nothing is a book about a guy writing a book, an instant meta book. It crosses genres by bringing a high-level critical approach to a popular text and gives a fascinating insight into the art of writing a thriller, showing the process in real time. It may well be the first of its kind. As a writer, I found it utterly fascinating. If you can get to hear Andy speak in Cape Town, I highly recommend it. I recommend that you buy this book. Looking forward to meeting you in real life, Andy. Sorry, Heather won't be joining us next time. Lastly, we get to the blog I was supposed to write that will now be a vlog. This is about my deepest, darkest book confessions, so bless me, Father, for I have sinned. First up, have you ever damaged a book? Not that I can recall. All the beatings Sister Veneranda gave me seem to have paid off. I'm very careful with books. I don't even break the spine generally. My family, however, have no such scruples, and they love to break spines and fold over pages, and do lots of very, very, very bad things. Next one, have you ever damaged a borrowed book? I think I did drop one of my sister's books in the bath. I love reading in the bath, but I think that might be it. How long does it take you to read a book? A dense book with a lot of description will generally take me a week or two. Genre fiction, particularly if it's very gripping, will be devoured in 3 or 4 hours. Books I haven't finished. Oh. Now, before I got published, there were only 1 or 2. But now there are loads. I feel horribly guilty about it, but here are a few that I haven't finished. I literally can't hold them all. See? Sorry. I'm a bad person, I know. Hyped popular books you didn't like. When I first read Girl on a Train, gosh, whatever it is, I thought, good, but not really worth all the hype. Then I reread it, and I absolutely loved it, and I've read it a few times since. So yeah. Is there a book you wouldn't tell anyone you were reading? I was a little sheepish to admit that I had read all 4 of the 50 Shades of Grey books. Then I found out my brother had read them, and I didn't feel so bad. Are you a fast, slow reader? Generally fast, unless it's a book I'm not particularly enjoying, or unless I'm feeling overwhelmed like I am now. I'm sort of like I'm suffering from, I don't know what the term is. Is it like erectile dysfunction for readers, where I just can't seem to finish books? I don't know what that's about. Do you like to buddy read? I have no idea what that means, but it sounds quite saucy, sort of like a threesome or something, no? No? Maybe it's all that 50 Shades of Grey I've been reading. Do you read better in your head or out loud? Better in my head, but I will read dialogue out loud when I want to hear the rhythm of it. And because I'm a scriptwriter, I'm often sort of, saying dialogue out loud. If you were allowed to own only one book, what would it be? That is a very, very ugly suggestion. Oof, the thought of only owning one book. It would probably have to be Pride and Prejudice, because I think it has got some of the finest comic dialogue ever written. Right, I now nominate Amy H., Rami Chweni, Janice Leibovitz, Mihaly Mashigo, Sue Nyati, and Paige Nick to tell us their deepest, darkest secrets. You can find it all written out on Karina Brink's blog if you need to. And that's it, folks. All I have to say is, read essay. Bye.